Good day, fashion friends. So, how many of you are obsessed with these giant gem ornaments found at Hobby Lobby? Okay, when I first saw these, I was absolutely obsessed. And the first thought that I had was that would make a super cute, like little clutch or a little handbag or something. And I kept thinking about how could I do this. So I put it in the back of my head, and I call that my crock pot. So when I get a vision, I put it in the crock pot and I let it simmer and I let it do its magic, and then eventually an idea pops into my head and I think I have it figured out. So in today's tutorial, we are going to take one of these, some beads, some rings, some wire, magnetic purse closure, some ribbon, and a little piece of material. And we're going to see if we can make this into a cute little clutch. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is try to figure out how to get this apart without breaking it. Now, the other ones, I inspected each one because I did buy other colors. I inspected each one and saw if there was like a little spot that wasn't quite sealed and glued shut. However, I checked every single one of the silver ones and I could not find one that had an opening anywhere. So I have this little pokey tool and I'm just trying to push it in, and I'm starting to hear some cracking, so that's a good sign. Oh, now yep, there we go. Now I've got it separated. So now I get, and this is all flying by the seat of my pants right at this moment. So it looks like if I hit each one of these little joints right here and snap those open, I should be able to get this apart. And by the way, be very, very careful when working with sharp, pointy objects. I'm just trying to be careful. Nope, no crack in there. All right, let's see here. See if I can just push this in between. All right, I got it in. If I can just slide this along the, oh, there we go. There's another one. So what I'm doing is I'm sliding on the inside and running it up and then just giving it a little twist one way or the other, and I get to the top and it's not working. Okay, let's go back down to the bottom. Okay, let's try working from the bottom back to the top. Okay. There we go. There's another one popped out. There's another one. And now we just got to get the top. Ah! I'm so excited. Get it! So basically all it is, oh, that came out nice. Okay. So basically all it is, there's these little nubbies that go into the little holes. So they're just popped into these little holes. So they're not really glued together. So that's a good sign. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I am going to snip off this top piece for the hanger very, very carefully. And if I need to sand that down, I'll sand it down. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through and I'm going to snip off the little plastic knobs and the little top piece of this, because we don't want these to snap back into place. And we don't want them to be in the way to where the purse isn't going to close. So I want these to close to be flat. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get those little nubbies off. And then I'll be back. Flying by the seat of our pants as always. So I have a little faster way of getting those little nubbies down. Seeing as how I was a nail tech in a former life, I still have my e-file and my little drill bits, this is basically like a low-powered Dremel, so to speak. So using my nail tech tools and my nail tech skills, this is how I am sanding down those little nubbies. Now, I did use my little like jewelry wire cutters to cut most of the nub off, but it didn't get it all the way flat. So that's why I am using my e-file to very carefully sand and smooth that down so there's nothing to catch and nothing uneven. And when I get done with that, I'll be back. Oh, also I used my little jewelry pliers to snip off the hoop, the little loopy on top, and it came off pretty much perfect. I'm just going to do a little bit of sanding on that so it's not going to be rough and pointy, and then I will be back. Okay, so in trying to figure out how to hinge this, because I don't have hinges, there are clear plastic hinges, but I don't have those on hand, and I am going to order them because I may be able to put 2 sets like right here on this flat area, or maybe on the side. I'm not sure how I want to hinge this. My vision is hinging it this way. But if I get the plastic hinges, the acrylic ones, and I have to put it and hinge it here or on the bottom, I'm not sure. See, I thought I could just hinge it on the bottom by using some ribbon on the inside. But the problem is using the ribbon where this is clear, you're gonna see a little bit of the ribbon, and I don't know if we want that. So what I'm going to do, I took some Mod Podge and I watered it down a little bit, and I have this see-through kind of iridescent material that I showed earlier, and I think I'm going to Mod Podge this to the front in hopes that it will disguise a little bit the ribbon hinge that I plan on making. Or this could be a complete failure and won't work. I don't know. But it starts with a vision. That's my motto. Okay, so the Mod Podge was not working because this material would not stick, or maybe I didn't wait for it to dry long enough. I don't know. So what I did instead, I used Gorilla Glue spray adhesive. I sprayed the inside of the front shell, and then I sprayed a new piece of material, let it sit for 1 minute as recommended by the instructions, and then I put the piece in, and I took a dry brush, paintbrush, and I worked and pushed all the material into the little corners, and then I burnished it on the edges. And then I flipped it over and I used a box cutter to trim off all the excess. So now the front looks like that, and it's still pretty because it's iridescent. You can't see your stuff, and it will most likely hide some of this ribbon a little bit better in order to hinge this. So now I'm going to try to move on to the next step of trying to figure out how to hinge this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so far so good. So I took this shiny ribbon and I glued it around the edge, and it doesn't look too bad. This rough edge that it has, I got this at Joann Fabrics. It was right next to the register, like right before I checked out, and it was exactly what I was looking for. So this is looking pretty good. I started in the middle, and then I made a couple little notches as I glued up to the sides. So that will fit together like that. So now I have to, I don't know if you can see this. So I have to be able to glue that to the inside, but I also maybe need a little more ribbon going up the sides, like right here. So I might could use some material. I think I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to get like a little triangle of material and put in these little corners, so that way it keeps it from only opening enough to get your hand in and out. So I think that's the next thing that I am going to attempt to do. Okay, as I said, I glued it all the way up to the side. I ended up having to take like a 1/2 inch off because I don't want to glue it all the way up to that notch, because then you won't be able to get it open far enough. And then I cut a square piece. I don't know what the size is. I'll measure it here in just a second. But I doubled it up. And I'm going to glue the sides down. And I want a piece of material that's going to fit in this little corner. So that way when you open it up, you're not going to open the purse too far, and then your stuff isn't going to fall out of the side. So I think the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to just glue a little bit here along the bottom, not all the way up, because then if I have to cut more of this away, then I will. And then I'll know next time just to use a shorter piece. Or using the whole piece and then being able to glue this to this, it will strengthen it a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue the ribbon to the back side, and I have this taped to just kind of give me an idea of how much I want to hinge this. So I'm going to try to hold that in place and then use hot glue and just glue a little bit of that down just to test it. And then I'm going to try to work this in, and then I'll get the measurements on this little piece right here, because I just kind of cut it by eyeballing it to have a little double piece in this corner. Okay, I have that inside glued down. I only went to like the first little line of the facet from the center out because I didn't want to glue too much. So I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to measure this little diamond thing that I made. So you're going to want it to be so it's about 4 by 4 by 4 1/4, give or take. So it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And what I'm going to do, because I want to strengthen this, it's got a little bit of stretch to it. So I want to strengthen this a little bit. So I think I'm going to go ahead and glue these edges down before I glue it to the actual inside. But I got to cut another one of these because I need one for the other side. So you're going to cut 2 of these, and you're going to have this little diamond pattern. So let me get another one of those. Okay, now what I did while that was drying or setting up, I took my 2 little diamond things and I put a line of glue across the fold, up the top, down the side, folded it in half. I didn't use a whole lot because this material is transparent, so I just wanted to have it together in one piece. So that's what I did. So I glued all 4 of those together. Now Okay, yep. Okay, that's hinging fairly nicely. Okay. I'm happy with that. So let me remove the tape and see how that's doing. Perfect. You can get your hand in there. So now I gotta figure out how to get, I gotta figure out how to glue this material into there. So what I want to do, you know what, I think I'm gonna go ahead and where this is open all the way, I'm gonna finish gluing this up the side. So it goes to there, that one goes to there. So I got to cut a little more off of this side, I think. Yeah, I think that little tiny bit will still be enough. All right, so I'm going to finish gluing this ribbon down right here to the back. So it's going to go to the little area right before the little hump. And this one I gotta trim. Just a teensy little bit. If I can, I don't know if I can get in there now. All right, trimmed a tiny bit more off. Now I'm gonna finish gluing that to the back, and then I'm going to glue the material, the little V of material, in there to the front and the back. Making progress. I have my little side pieces in. I probably could have used a little less ribbon on the bottom, and maybe on the next one I will maybe only go to here, because then I'll be able to open this like a little bit wider, and then this will be protecting it. So next one I make, I will probably use a little less ribbon and then be able to open this a little bit more, but it's already glued down and I don't want to take it apart because I think it'll just make a giant mess. But it's still, it opens and closes, and it opens enough to where like you can put your phone in, or you can, you know, you open it this way and you can still get your hand in to get things out, you know, makeup, lipstick, things like that. So there we go. All right, now, next step, I am going to, I bought these 12 millimeter round heavy gauge jump ring, and I don't plan on opening these, so that's why I was okay to go with the jump ring, but that's what they look like. I got these at either Hobby Lobby or Joann's. I think I got them at Hobby Lobby. The ones I got at Joann's were these, and they were different sizes, and they were half price, so I went ahead and picked them up just in case maybe I needed different sizes. So next thing I'm going to do, I am going to take 2 jump rings. 1, 2. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this thinner ribbon. It is glitter ribbon iridescent. It is 3/8 inch wide. And I'm going to feed it through this little jump ring, make a little tab, and glue that together. And then I'm going to glue that to the inside of here, because that is going to hold the handle that we're going to make with the beads and the wire. So it's going to have like a little wire handle, and it will have a closure. I will get to that in just a moment. It's not perfect. It will close because it's going to have a latch, but it's going to be too cute for anybody to care, because I am totally digging that right now. All right, so I'm going to make my little jump ring hoops, and then I'm going to make my handle. And I just bought this mixed bead because it has like the clear and it's got some iridescent and pearls. So I'm gonna figure out how I want to make my handle, but I already figured out that I need 20 beads for a decent handle because I found a set of beautiful iridescent beads that looked just like this material, but it would have been like $5 just for the handle, and I figured like with the material and the ribbon and the rings and the beads and everything, this was cheaper at $8 instead of $5 for just the 20, and there's probably about 40 in here. So I figured I could pick and choose what I want, maybe mix and match. So yeah, so that's what I got. So I'm going to do the little hoops for the wire to hook onto with the bead handle, and then we'll work on the closure. Okay, now for wire, I got 18 gauge because I wanted something sturdy, and it's silver plated copper wire. So that's what that looks like. I got this at Joann Fabrics. So I've never worked with this, but I wanted something sturdy, but something flexible. So I'm hoping that that's what this ends up to be. So now I need to figure out how long I want my handle to be. And hopefully that's within the 20 beads that I had planned. So I think that looks long enough. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little bit of this. I'll cut a little extra. I do like this. It's bendable and easy to work with, but it still seems pretty sturdy. So now I'm going to go through, I'm going to pick out, so that's going to be the handle, like right there. So I'm going to pick out my beads and figure out what I want to use and make my handle. And then I will be back. Okay, I have to say, I am super excited how this is working out. There's a few things I would change on the next one, so I did buy extra just in case I messed up, but I'm really digging this. So next thing, I am going to have my handle completed, the various little beads, and I put silver spacer beads in between the big beads just because it looks nicer. So now I'm going to, before I put that on, I'm going to set that aside actually. And before I put that on, I'm going to work on my magnetic closure. Okay, so before I put my handle on, because I don't want to have to fight with it, I'm going to work on my closure. Now, I didn't want something that like latched. I didn't really want to snap because you have to be careful because I can't sew anything onto the plastic. So everything has to be glued. So I looked, and at Hobby Lobby, I found these flat sew-on magnetic closures. And these were the smallest ones that I could find. So what I imagine is I am going to use the ribbon, and I'm going to make a little closure. I'm not sure if I'm going to come around the side or over the top. I think I'm going to come over the top. I'm going to play around with it. But I'm going to put a ribbon on the back that is going to, either from the back or from the inside. Maybe I'll do it from the inside. And then it will come over and it will magnetically clasp to the other piece. But I'm going to hide that by taking the ribbon and making a little bow, and I'm going to hide the closure with a bow, or maybe I'll take the ribbon and make like a little rosette or something like that. But I will, or a little gem. I've got flat back gems. I have some, I think I've got, maybe have some brooches. I'll find something, but I'm going to hide the magnetic closure. So let me get this open and see if these are going to lay flat, because I'm not sure if they're going to be completely flat. But I also found these at Hobby Lobby, and they were only $1.79, which I thought was a great price. Because I was looking at like the hook and ring closures that I saw somebody else use on a hardback purse, and they were like $5. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't want $20 in this purse. So, okay, they are fairly flat. So, let me see here. So I think you know what, I think I'm gonna try to pound that down a little bit and see if I can make that flatter. And I put my closure there. And I'm gonna cut the little sewing hoops off. Or maybe it doesn't matter because it's gonna be hidden. And then this will come over and clasp magnetically to that. Okay, so I want the big one on the bottom here, and then I want this one on a tab to come this way. Okay, all right, let me get this figured out and see what I can do. But I'm gonna have to run downstairs and see if I can flatten these little bumps on the back, just like with a little tap tap on the hammer, because they're sticking up a little too much. Okay, so I just made a cute little bow, just like that. Make sure it's kind of even. There we go. Now, so I did cut the corners off. I don't know if I want the flat part here. I think I do. I'm going to cut those off too, and then have the ribbon come around. Okay, so I'm going to make this, I'm going to rough this up a little bit because I need the glue to give the glue something matte to stick to. So I want the flat piece on the bottom, and I'm going to take a little more of this metal off because I used my grinder to grind it down a little bit because tapping it did not do anything. I got this one pretty flat, so that's good. So I need to get this one a little flatter. Okay, I'm back. That is much better. I just had to grind on that one a little bit more. Okay, so I want the flat part there. I'm going to cut the ends off, because I'm going to use E6000 to glue this on, so it's going to have to sit. Alright, so, because I want this to be nice and strong. Okay, so nice and flat, no hoops, no little loopies. So that's going to sit. All right, now I need my little baby ribbon. So I'm going to cut a piece of that. And I think what I want to do is have it come from the inside. I'm going to take that into place and see if I'm going to like that. as a little trial run. Alright, so I'll take my little baby ribbon, skinny ribbon, and I'm going to take that there because I think I want that to come from the outside, and then flip over, put the bow and the snap like right there. Oh my god, that's freaking adorable. So it's going to come this way to hold it closed. Is that going to hold it, or should I do it on the outside? I think that's going to work because it just needs to come this way. Just maybe not. Let me see. So if I put the ribbon on the outside, and then it comes to a point. So maybe I need to flatten that. Okay. Come on, get on there straight. Okay. And then it'll come this way and snap. Not sure if I like it that way. All right, let's see here. How do I want to do this? If I have maybe 2 strings crisscross, or 2 little ribbons. Let me get another piece of ribbon here. Cross it there. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm just kind of this way. Yeah, I think I like that. And then have the little bow right there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. It's going to come crisscross on the sides, and then the bow will be on top of there. All right, so I'm going to glue this into place. So I'm going to glue, let's make that a little straight. Okay, so we're going to glue one here, and basically what we're doing is we're following the little V of the back facet, so that it just kind of lines up nicely. So we're running out of glue. Okay, so I'm going to put that. Alright, so I glued that one that way. Okay, now I'm going to glue the other one so basically it's just like a little V on the back, following the lines of the facet. Push that down nice and tight. All right, so there's a little facet cut right there, so we just cut it that way. Was I not recording? Huh, nope. Okay, so I made the little V, and make sure that it's not like 45-degree angle, it's just slightly off of a 45-degree angle, so that way it lays nice and flush over your opening. And then I glued the bow to the little X. I don't know if you can see that. And then I used E6000 on the magnetic part, so that has to sit for a little bit and let that start to take hold. So I'm going to set that back there. and then I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and then I will work on putting the handle on and then decide if I need to use any more beads. But I think I'll be okay. But oh my God, it's so stinking cute. I'm so excited. Okay, here it is, all finished. I ended up just hot gluing the magnetic closure to the ribbon. It just wasn't setting up fast enough, and I just wanted it to be done. So it's got the little bow. It flips open, and I'm going to put my phone in here for the test. So then the handle is on. I could cut those a little shorter if I want, I'm not sure, but there you go. It's moving around with a cell phone in there. That's the ultimate test right there. It's got to hold the celly, right? Okay. And then for the handles, let me flip this back up. So I ended up adding a few more beads and a few more spacers, and then I just literally looped it up a little tiny bit, hooked it, and then squeezed it closed. So it's a nice comfortable handle. It's not too heavy. It's gonna hold, and super stinking cute. I love it. I love it. You open it this way, gives you room to get your hand in there, to put things in, and I love it. I'm so happy that I figured this out. So there you go. Turning the Hobby Lobby gem ornament into a purse. Thank you all for watching today. I super appreciate all the time that you spend watching my tutorials. And just to let you know that sometimes I cut out the creative process and sometimes I leave a little bit of it in, just to let you know that when I'm creating something unusual that has not been done before, there is a lot of thought and trial and error that goes into figuring it out. As always, love, peace, and thrift, and we'll catch you on the flip side.